Recently, I've been making a lot of progress on Osana and Raibaru. In this video, I'm going to show you everything that I've been working on, except the things that are spoilers. Every day, Osana will have several scripted events. These events were created long before Raibaru was implemented, so there wasn't any code telling her what to do during an event. As a result, she just awkwardly stood next to Osana during each of her events. One of the things I've been doing recently is going through all of Osana's events and giving Raibaru an appropriate action to perform. When Osana speaks with Senpai, Raibaru watches from afar. Other times, she functions as a guard, who protects Osana when she is in a vulnerable state. She always has a routine that causes her to take her eyes off of Osana for a short time, which provides the player with an opportunity to perform some type of sabotage. If the player attempts to attack Osana when Raibaru isn't looking, Osana will scream, which will instantly alert Raibaru. While implementing Raibaru, I've also been playtesting each of Osana's events to confirm that they are functioning as intended. During this process, I sometimes discover that changes need to be made to the school environment to facilitate certain options for the player. For example, if you want to obtain Osana's smartphone, you have to steal it when she leaves it in her locker. To force her to travel to the locker room and change her clothes, you have to dump water on her. But if you missed your one opportunity to dump water on Osana, then you would permanently lose your chance to sabotage certain events. This didn't strike me as good game design, so I decided to do something about it. I wanted to make it possible to lure Osana into a bucket trap by attracting her attention with a giggle. But a student will not investigate a giggle if they can clearly see the person who is giggling. And the school plaza is a wide open area with nothing to hide behind. So attempting to lure Osana into a trap was impossible. To make this strategy available to the player, I had to change the design of the plaza. I added more bushes, which provide the player with cover, so that it's possible to lure Osana over to the nearest door with giggles. Now the player has more options, and the plaza looks much better. You might be surprised to see that I've added a large wooden deck to the hill behind the school. Exactly like the bushes, there is a game design justification for this addition. Every week on Friday, your current rival will put a love letter into Senpai's locker and then wait for him behind the cherry tree. While waiting for Senpai, the rival is completely vulnerable and defenseless. It's objectively the most convenient time to eliminate your rival. This exploit removes all challenge from the game. To solve this problem, I decided that every Friday, various students will gather behind the cherry tree to perform some sort of activity together. During Osana's week, it's the art club who gather behind the tree to make paintings. This ensures that at least 5 witnesses will be present and looking in the direction of Osana while she is waiting for Senpai. In order for this idea to work, the students needed somewhere to stand, which is why I added the wooden deck. If you're still determined to eliminate Osana when she's behind the cherry tree, it's definitely possible. You could kill the leader of the art club to make them disband before Friday. Or you could befriend all of them in advance and simply ask them to leave the area. Or you could become a delinquent and intimidate them into leaving. Or maybe it will be possible to cancel the activity by simply stealing all of their paint before the activity begins. Because of the sheer number of different features in the game, you have a lot of creative freedom when deciding how to solve a problem. It's very likely that, as I continue to implement Osana, I'll discover various other ways that the school environment needs to be changed to facilitate stealth gameplay or remove exploits. So don't be surprised if you see more additions over the next few weeks. One way to eliminate a rival is to do such a massive favor for her that she will trust you enough to enter your home alone. From there, you could convince her to stay away from senpai, or just capture her and make her your prisoner. I call this the Befriend-betray elimination method. A few years ago, I demonstrated this feature using Kokona Haruka as a guinea pig. It involved a side quest where the player gains Kokona's trust by helping her father get out of debt. The side quest was very easy. You simply had to kidnap one girl. But in order to befriend-betray Osana, the player will have to go through a much more elaborate side quest. Recently, I received most of the assets necessary to add this side quest into the game, and I've made a lot of progress on it. It has been incredibly fun to work on this feature, and I'm happy to say that it's nearly complete. Once it's finished, I'll show it to you in further detail. I've also made some progress on another one of Osana's elimination methods, the matchmaking method, which involves making Osana fall in love with someone else other than senpai. However, I'd like to keep the suitor's identity a secret for now, so I won't show you the progress I've made just yet. Osana has dozens of events, and the player has dozens of gameplay mechanics at their disposal. Because of the sheer number of different possible circumstances that can occur, I'm constantly discovering new situations and encountering new bugs. Before I release Osana, I will attempt to test every possible combination of features and events, but it's likely that a few bugs will slip past me. It's entirely possible that the first build that contains Osana will have some bugs and exploits. I fully anticipate that the first version of Osana will be the roughest version, and that I will receive a lot of feedback on how to improve the experience and make it more fun to eliminate her. And if that's the case, I'll take as much time as necessary to tweak and improve the experience of eliminating Osana until it reaches its maximum potential. There isn't much work left to be done on Osana's scripted events, her Befriend-betray side quest, or her suitor. Once those things are complete, I'll test every one of Osana's elimination methods as thoroughly as possible, and fix as many bugs and exploits as I can find. After that, it'll finally be time to release a build that contains Osana. It's crazy to think that we're actually this close. I would like to thank you for following the development of Yandere Simulator. But before I end the video, there's one last thing I'd like to mention. Each of the artists who paints an image behind the cherry tree is painting something different. The leader simply paints what he sees. The gloomy boy paints a dark and morbid version of the cherry tree. The narcissistic boy ignores the assignment completely and just paints a self-portrait. The abstract artist paints, well, who knows what she's doing. The weeaboo paints an anime character with a tree in the background as an afterthought. And last, Midori paints... Hey, wait a minute. Midori, you're not in the art club. What are you up to? Oh, she was painting the new merch now available in the Crowdmade store. It's a Yandere-chan keychain. Absolutely adorable. A new shirt and embroidered sweatshirt are also available. Visit crowdmade.com/yandere to check them out.